I want you to get a handle on this because this is important. I still got to finish my series. I've already did the videos. I just haven't uploaded them yet. This is important right here. So Jesus said, the greatest among you is a servant. Now a servant automatically becomes a leader. Why? Because Jesus is the greatest leader there ever was, right? And so Jesus is a leader, and he became a servant. So something in that combination work, something regarding servant and leadership, something in that, in those two items, those two words, those two attributes, or whatever you want to call them, those two qualities go hand in hand. Think about what I'm saying. The greatest among you is a servant. And so when you serve, you lead by example to be great. And so people around you watching you who don't believe in serving, they want to be served, right? They want you to wash their feet. They don't want to wash your feet. They want you to wash their feet. And I'm talking about allegorically. I'm not talking about literally. I'm talking about allegorically, metaphorically, allegorically, whatever you want to call it, or symbolically, however you want to say it. But they don't want to wash feet. They want you to wash their feet. And what does it do? It turns them into lazy. It messes with their mind. Somebody who wants to be served instead of served, it messes with your mind. I mean, it totally messes with your mind, really, for real. If you think about what I'm saying. And so, in order to get the servant mindset, if you go to the root truth that the greatest among you was Jesus when he walked down here, and he was a servant, he showed you how to serve, and he was a great leader. The greatest leader. Look at Moses, the meekest man to ever walk the earth. But he had meekness, which is power. He had power. At 120 years old, he was just as strong as he was when he was 18. That's what the Bible says. His natural force was not abated. What do you think it's attributed to? Servant. Taking up your cross. He had power. He was strong, but he was a servant. Servant leader, meek. He was very meek. M-E-E-K, EK key. The EK key is the master key. So meek. M is water, E is spirit. Meekness is power. The greatest among you is a servant. If you understand, if you really want to be great, if you really want to be strong, if you really want to endure, if you really want longevity, if you really want to walk in the eternal mindset, then it's going to be a servant leader. You don't just go get a job, sit there and have people serving you. You show by example. If you want your employees or your people around you to learn how to serve one another, then you have to do it as an example, and you become a leader of the proper way, the true way. But if you sit there with your feet on the desk and you say, do this, do this, do this, do this, and you don't ever get out of the chair and show anybody, that's probably narcissism, to be honest with you. When my mind shifted, okay, yeah, there might be people around you that are lazy, that don't want to do the job, that don't want to do anything. But when my mind shifted, it doesn't matter what they do. It doesn't matter if what's going on within. It's when I became a servant in my mindset, it's like a metaphorical shift. It's just a shift in your whole being. And when you become a servant in your whole core, in your inner core, right? Everything changes. Today, I turned the app on for a few hours, and I had to pick this lady up. She got in the car and she had a cane. She said, "I can't lift my foot. Can you lift my foot for me?" I had to lift her foot up into the car. Then I picked this other guy up at the hospital. He was probably about 80 years old, and I had to sit there and be patient with him. And it's like a test. It was a test, right? It was a test.
In half a mile, keep right at the fork.
It was a test to see if I was the real deal. I came across two situations that were a test. When I dropped the guy off, I had to grab his stuff out of the back seat.
Keep right at the fork.
Help him out a little bit, but he was moving better than that other younger lady. But servant leadership is actually the only way to live. It's the only way to live. When you get a hold of that, there's no other way to live. When it becomes a part of you, that's the only way to live. I mean, really. I mean, I'm not even joking. If it can become a part of your core, if you can shift this society, everybody wants to get rich, be a millionaire, and have people serving. No. Even if you become a millionaire, you still become a servant leader. Even if you become a trillionaire, servant leadership. If you get that lazy where let's say you become a trillionaire, you know how boring that's going to be? And you know how you're going to lose your health? If you just got people doing stuff for you, why would you want somebody doing something for you all the time? You need to exercise your muscles, exercise your mind, grow. You want to keep growing till the day you die, really. You want to just keep growing all the time. So there might be somebody out there that says, "I want to get rich so people just serve me." Wrong. That's the wrong way of thinking. That's actually contrary to the universe. It's contrary to reality. Think about Jesus. He ever lives to make intercession for the saints. Is that not the ultimate service? He chose to go to the cross. No greater love than a man lay down his life for his friend. And he chose in eternity past to create man, knowing he ever lives to make intercession. Now, that is service forever. That's eternal service. Do you understand what I'm saying? So when you fall down and worship God and cast your crowns to Jesus, you might say, "Well, that's beneath." No, it ain't beneath you. He did it first. He did it, and he's actually holding everything. He's holding the angels together. He's holding
in
the
2
earth.
miles. Take the exit on the right.
He's actually doing it all the time. He's holding the universe together. He's holding it all together. That's service. And so to give him the honor and the praise and the glory is not a big deal. It's not a big deal, to be honest with you. Because think about what he's doing. He's holding everything together. You wouldn't exist without God, without Jesus. God, through Jesus, made all things. Jesus holds it all together. By him, all things consist. All things consist. You're being held together by Jesus. Your thoughts, your mind, your body, your joints, your everything about you. Your eyesight, your hearing, your heartbeat. Everything about you is being held together by Jesus, and he ever lives to make intercession. That's a service like you ain't never seen. That's servant leadership, and there's no other leadership, to be honest with you. There's no other way to lead. I promise you. If you can just digest what I'm saying, if you can digest it, your whole world will shift, will change. People won't get on your nerves that are trying to need some help. I mean, the whole thing's shit. Now, you might fall back into that old way of thinking because the whole society is about me, 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 me. I want to be served. That's what Babylon is. Serve me. Wash my feet. I'm paying you. Do a good job. Go to this fancy restaurant and you got to serve me. That's what this whole thing's about. They pay this money to go on a cruise and to be served. Everybody wants to be served instead of served. The greatest among you is a servant. And I know in Babylon it's the opposite. It's upside down. But I promise you, when you start to practice it, it becomes a part of you. Other people around you will learn and start to do it. You'll see it in action. You'll actually see it in action. And you'll actually be lifted up in situations that you didn't expect. Not because you wanted to be lifted up, just because you said, I'm a serve. And actually, for some reason, it just works out that way. The universe, you're in tune with the universe, I guess. You're in tune with the Spirit. You're in tune with creation. You're in tune with Jesus. You're in tune with the whole everything. And so there has to be a harvest. There has to be cornucopia. There has to be a lifting up. And nobody can stop it. Nobody can stop it. It can't be stopped. It can't be stopped. I want you to think about what I'm saying. There's no way to stop it. They can't. The devil, the Freemasons, the Jesuits, nobody can stop it. I'm telling you, I promise you. It's impossible. They'll be shaking their head saying, how's this person... We've been persecuting this person. We've been trying to destroy this person, but they just keep on rising up. They keep on making it. What's going on? You're in a different world. You're in the spirit walk. You're not in the flesh mind. I promise you. If you don't understand what I'm saying, pray about it. Ask God to show you, because I believe He wants to show this truth to everybody. Otherwise, I wouldn't be talking about it. I've heard sermons maybe on servant leadership, but not to this depth. I mean, I'm actually telling you that the greatest servant ever was Jesus down here. And not only down here, but He ever lives to make intercession. That's service. So the greatest servant is God. And if God Himself says the greatest among you is a servant, you better start serving and watch what happens. At first you feel like, what was that movie? There was a movie called Jupiter Rising. So that lady was working, she inherited another planet, right? But she was down on Earth serving a menial job. But she was actually higher up. But she went up into her kingdom, and all these people who were wanting to be served were looking down on her because she was a servant. But the reality is, she understood. See, it's a type and shadow of having, this is why you're going to judge angels one day if you're a saint. Because you understand. See, angels are messengers, but you serve one another, right? You're understanding love is what it comes down to. That's my point. Serve one another. You're learning how to use or apply or walk in agape love. Even people you normally don't like, or their personality or whatever. But I promise you, they change. When you start to serve, they have to change. It's like it's a universal principle. I promise you. You'll start to actually see like miracles happen. For real. It's bizarre.